Hey Pandas, we're going to start a lesson today for continuous contour drawings. Continuous means happening over and over and continuing, right? When you do a continuous drawing, you continue to keep your pencil or pen or whatever it is on the paper. It's like a challenge. The challenge is, don't lift your pencil. So let's start with our mantra. My mantra. I am positive. I am creative. I am mindful. I am amazing. I am an artist. All right, to start this, what you need to do is find either a plant outside or maybe you have a vase or a potted plant inside. I'll show you what we're working with. So here's what we're drawing right here. You can see we have just a cup from our kitchen and some leaves that a neighbor brought over for us to put in a vase. These ones smell good. They're called herbs. This is sage. Yeah, and that's parsley. So you can use herbs if you have some, or you can find flowers outside. You could do a branch from a tree that has some leaves. Whatever works for you. All right, Pandas, here is my arrangement. You can see this is a continuous line drawing I did earlier today. And we're going to start one right now together. You want to have some sort of drawing material like a Sharpie or a pencil or maybe even a crayon. And you want to have your paper ready to roll in front of you. Ollie, are you ready?
Yes.
Get your Sharpie ready.
Okay.
All right, so what you want to do is start at the top of your arrangement. On my arrangement, I'm going to make this area right here the top. So I'm going to put my Sharpie down onto my paper. And I'm looking up at the arrangement. And I want to focus on one leaf in particular. The leaf I'm focusing on is a little bumpy. So I'm making the outline of that leaf. Then I'm connecting right there to make it the full shape of the leaf. Then I'm going to take my marker and drag through the middle for that line. Then I'm going to make a line for my stem. Then I'm going to go up. I'm picking a different leaf now. It's on that same plant, so it still has those lumpy, bumpy lines to it. Then the line in the middle. And down. And you can notice that I am not picking my marker up at all. That's really the goal of this, is to focus on seeing the plants and not lifting your marker. That's why it's called a continuous drawing. Continuous, not contiguous.
Good to go.
Now, I've done this before and I accidentally lift my marker. I kind of forget what I'm doing. If that happens to you, you just put your marker or pencil back down where you were. So if you accidentally lift, you just put it back down and continue on. Now I think I'm going to start on this other plant that's leaves are shaped a little differently. I'm going in and back around. Now this leaf has little lines in it, so as I'm moving down the stem there, I'm making the different lines. So I'm kind of working down onto my paper. I start in one spot and just continue to work around. So I'm making that line that goes up in it. I kind of like to do this sort of activity with a partner because I think it's fun to see how Ollie and I are both looking at the same plant. But our drawings aren't going to look identical. And it's really fun to see how different people draw the exact same thing in a different way. Because there's really no right way to do this.
Or there's no wrong way.
Yeah, no right, no wrong. And you see I accidentally lifted my pen, so I put it back down. No biggie. I'm going to make a couple more leaves, and then I'm going to show you how to make the vase itself. Maybe you're looking at a potted plant, or maybe you're looking at a leaf that doesn't have a vase, so you could skip the next step. The goal really is to look closely and to make a continuous line. Now I'm going to make the outline for the top of my cup, around, then my line goes down, down, down for the side. This is a cylinder, so the bottom has a little curve to it, and then back up, up, up. I'm also going to make the line for the counter that goes behind it. So I'm going to go like that for the line, and that line's going to go right behind. And there's a continuous line drawing. You can see Ollie's is coming really well. That looks cool, Ollie.
Thanks.
The next step is going to be to add some color to our continuous line drawings. All right, now we both have our continuous line drawings, and you can see they look different, but I really like them both. We're going to use oil pastel to add some pattern. You can use crayons or pastels. If you choose crayons, though, you do need to push a little harder than you do with pastels. And we're going to make some patterns around our subject, the background. The foreground is the subject itself, and the background is what's behind it or around it. So I think I'm going to make some little lines. This is going to turn into a watercolor resist. So I will paint right on top. And these will show up a little bit brighter than the paint itself. Your patterns could look like mine, or they could be totally different. The choice is yours.
All yours.
All yours.
It's gonna be raining purple.
Yours is raining purple?
It's purple rain.
That's a good idea. That's a song.
What?
Purple Rain.
Literally?
Literally.
Oh my gosh. Did you turn the sound off?
Nope. They can hear you. Now I think I'm going to do a different pattern on the table area that I made. Maybe lines going the opposite way, a little bit longer. Ollie's still working on this purple rain.
Purple rain!
It's not exactly how it goes, but close. If you want to, you can even add a little bit of color into some of your plants. I think I'm just going to kind of sketch in some little lines to give it a little more visual interest. And maybe I'll use a light blue to make it look like my cup is kind of reflecting something, just some little lines on it. Ollie's is looking really cool. The next step is going to be to use watercolor paint. If you don't have watercolor paint at home, you can use markers to make it. You can soak a marker, just a regular marker, in water with the tip facing down and let it sit overnight, and it'll turn into a watercolor paint.
And Santa gave you watercolor paint.
And it'll feel like Santa gave you watercolor paints, but really you made it for yourself. All right. And the last step is going to be painting. All right, guys, the last step is painting. I have watercolor paint, and the key word is water. When you use watercolor paint, you have to wake up your paint. So you grab a paintbrush, and you pick the color you want. I think I'm going to start in my background, and I think I'm going to use this blue color here. I take some water, and I make my paintbrush kind of dance in the paint until I have a puddle that's that color. Then I'm going to go right over the oil pastel.
And if it doesn't really get on the paint, you know, you need more water.
That's right. You have to wake it up with water. Now, when I am painting, my paintbrush is like a what, Ollie?
Ballerina!
Is like a ballerina. Ballerinas dance on their what?
Tiptoes.
Tiptoes. They never ever scoot around on their bottoms, Because nobody wants to go to the booty scooting ballet.
Ballet, ballet, ballet.
It ain't pretty, you don't want to go. When I'm doing this, I really don't want to overlap colors. That can tend to be too much with the oil pastel going on too. If your paintbrush dries out, that just means that it's thirsty. You need to add water. And
2,000,000 gallons of water.
And not that much. And then continue to paint.
Years.
So you can see that I'm kind of loosely painting my leaves. Watercolor paint kind of spreads around. So if you miss a spot, don't worry. It probably will flow into that area later. I didn't even realize it, but it looks like I'm using only cool colors in my painting.
I'm using both.
You're using both?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was no rule about warm or cool colors. I just happened to choose all cool colors today. I don't know why.
No, that's a warm color.
Oh, he's right. I have some orange in there.
And that's green can be a.
You're right. Greenish yellow can be warm. You are right about that. And let me show you Ollie's. Looking good. Beautiful work. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Have your parents send me pictures so I can see your work. I miss you guys bunches. I can't wait to do art with you soon. Bye.